Hi, it's Handy Val. If your CTS is experiencing poor fuel economy, loss of some horsepower, and a slightly worse idle, then the likely reason is a dirty mass airflow sensor. These second generation CTSs are now at an age where the mass airflow sensor has gotten dirty over the years. Luckily, it's easy to clean, anyone can do it, and it's very cheap to do so. You will certainly notice an improvement in gas mileage. The mass airflow sensor is easily accessible under the hood. Here is the mass airflow sensor. It's on the tubing leading to your engine, close to your engine intake filters. Here's your intake filter, and that's the tubing leading into your engine. And there it is. In this video, I'll be using this $10 spray can to clean it. It's excellent preventive maintenance, and it should be done every 2 years or so. An engine needs air, spark, and fuel to operate. The mass airflow sensor measures the amount of air and temperature of the air coming into the engine, and the car's computer uses this info to ensure the car runs optimally. A dirty mass airflow sensor can really mess things up, where the computer gets a poor reading and allows for too much fuel into the engine and it gets wasted, or too little fuel, and then that leads to performance issues or bad idle. A very dirty mass airflow sensor will turn on the check engine light and show an OBD value of P0100 all the way to P0105. You can prevent this by cleaning the sensor. Other symptoms of a bad sensor include poor acceleration, sometimes hard stopping and hesitation, but these would usually light up the check engine light. So let's get to the cleaning. We'll be using CRC's mass airflow sensor cleaner. It's important that you only use a mass airflow sensor cleaner. You don't want to use brake cleaner, and you don't want to use any throttle body cleaner, carburetor cleaner. It'll harm the mass airflow sensor. Before we get to the cleaning, you want to make sure the car is off and the key is not in the ignition. Very important. Now we're ready to remove the sensor. For the 3-liter V6s, which is this car, the sensor can easily be removed. Whereas on the 3.6-liter V6, you need to take the filter housing part out. So you're going to notice it's going to be this piece that will have to come out, whereas here on the V6, it's only the sensor. So to get to that, it's going to make things a lot easier to remove this cover. To remove the cover, you're going to take this oil cap, take this out, you can put it along the side, and then all you got to do here is lift. There's a clip here, you're going to lift. Lift, push out, put it on the side. It affords you a lot more space. So you can kind of take this wire a little bit of space. See that little tab right there? It's a tab. You're going to want to squeeze it in. Okay, squeeze it and then lift. So I'm just going to squeeze it and I'm lifting it. Quite easy. Okay, there's the tab. You can see it there. You're going to squeeze and lift. So now we've got that. You're going to want to push that out of the way. Okay, and there's 2 screws there that hold it together. There are Torx T15. Okay, so we're going to start with the top one first. I got this little gadget. You use what you got here, but you need a T15. Okay, goes in there. And the bottom one's a little bit trickier. It's harder to see down there, but still obviously very possible. As you get to the end of the loosening, just make sure that you don't want to lose the screw. You want to go there with your hand and do the final turns with it. Okay? Because again, this screw falls down there, you're going to have to be searching for it. It's going to take you some time. And I got the 2 screws out. Okay, place that in a safe spot. And now all this is should just come out. Okay, you're just going to pull it out. Okay, exposing the mass airflow sensor. All right, so let's have a look here. There's 2 wires, one there and one there. And what happens is that the air passes through these wires given the reading. So what we're going to do is we're going to use this and give it 10 to 15 short splurts of this liquid, keeping it about 4 to 5 inches away. Okay, let's do that. Again, you want to make sure you do not touch any of those wires with this tube with your fingers or anything else. Before you start the spraying, make sure you're wearing gloves. Might as well protect your hands, and wear goggles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, It's good to turn around as well. Get the other side. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and that's about it. Now, mind you, you should probably do at least 10 on each. I was doing, I did 50. I was counted to 15, but you should do about 10 on each one. Okay? Maybe even worthwhile to get this one as well, if you could sort of see it. Okay. Also recommended is to get the connector. Why not? This is safe for it. And that's it. Now it's a waiting game. Leave this thing in a container. I always like to have a little bit of, kind of a cardboard box, something to kind of keep it. And you just want to leave it there for at least half an hour before putting it into the car. Now, the one thing you're going to notice about this piece itself, right? It's quite easy to replace. That's for sure. Anyone could do it. You could do it. You can buy this part off many of the auto parts retailers, but it's not cheap. It's somewhere between 100 to 200 US. And obviously, that container, that spray, is only about $10. And that's all you need to really keep these things lasting. If you're using those K and N filters, usually they do make these mass airflow sensors dirtier. So they build up, sometimes they build up some oil around it. So you're gonna notice a massive improvement if you're using those K and N filters and you give this sensor a cleaning. Okay, so I waited a couple of hours. Half an hour is okay. I mean, the critical part here is you don't want to start the car while there's any of this sensor cleaner on it. That's the trick here, right? And we're not doing that. So let's put this thing back in. Only one way to go. Be gentle, okay? And so I think if you come from over here, you're gonna notice a little bit. You're gonna need to sort of like push that in, okay? And you're gonna know it doesn't go any further, right? You're gonna put a finger here, a finger on the bottom of the sensor, and push it in. And now, next thing to do is to put the screws back in. You don't want to kill the screws, right? You don't want to make them tight, but you don't need to like really make them extraordinarily tight, right? Just want to make sure it's not going anywhere. If you can tell here, it's not. And again, it's got that rubber around it as well. You want them really snug, but you don't want to, this isn't like you're torquing, your brake calipers here. To put the connector on, it's quite easy. The connector just has to go on. You don't have to touch anything here. You just kind of just put the connector back on its place, and you're going to want to hear a click. You heard that click? And that's it. Now you just want to make sure nothing's coming out. Okay, and it's not. That is firm. Now what we're going to need to do is put the top back on just to finish this off. One of the things, for those of you who haven't taken these things off, there's this little rod here. It's supposed to go in there. It's really the main piece that's keeping it together. Okay, and then these two ends just kind of go above right there. Okay, they go there, and you're going to line up this, and then you're just going to want to line up that little spot with it. There you go. And there you go. And then you take the oil filler cap, put that back on, screw that in, and that's it. And with this simple procedure, I will see an improvement in gas mileage, and I think you will too. If you enjoyed this video and learned from it, please like and subscribe to my Handy Val channel, as I will be sharing more helpful tips in the near future for Cadillacs. On the screen, you'll see just one sample of my many Cadillac videos. Bye for now, Handy Val.